Hey Ron, here's a little presentation thing.
You're not on mine, I need Ronnie.
Okay. That's all right. I said, give this to him. I'm Ken Simpkins.
Ronnie in the hall about 4 o'clock.
Ken Martin, nice to meet you, Ken.
That's what I did.
I got answers.
What say that? That's rough, ain't it? Yeah, this time of year, Trace, we're busy.
You don't know Teddy's got
You guys know?
He's supposed to take me. I wouldn't take me because I couldn't answer the phone right away. So I'm working.
He's having a hard time even coming to our 6:30 meeting. So. Let's see, Charles closed at 5.
Oh, that's right. Tell me pretty good.
Closed at 5, so it'll be after 5 before he gets here.
Charles and Teddy.
Charles will probably come.
Yeah, he'll have to close shop up here in a minute.
Teddy said the other night, Monday night, that he'd be here.
Unless they've got a job that's got to be out in the morning or something, see. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah.
It's a long ways off.
I thought he was back here. He was on Little Shelf Road the other day. Was he back to Jack Daniels?
That's good. That's good.
Turn off now.
He bounces so much, I don't know.
Couple of minutes.
Oh, for how long? I'm not going to know because of my minutes ain't getting
Oh. Randy, can I get a list of everybody that's here when we're through tonight?
We'll have to write them off unless he lets us in make a Xerox copy or something.
Oh, okay.
Take a cell phone.
You know,
I am the man.
Oh, you are? Okay. I thought you said they weren't here. I just heard you.
sometime we'll let everybody down when you just to open up. What's up,
There's another station there, Mom. There's actually 2 seats.
Sign your name on our call and pass it around and we can give it to him.
While everybody's signing that, it's 5 o'clock. We'll let Randy call
Call a safety committee meeting to order at 5. If I have a motion from our members to, we don't have the minutes, so can we postpone the minutes into our regular monthly meeting, which will be next month, please?
I'll make that motion, stuff you said.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and I'm going to turn it over this time to the Terry.
All right, we'll call the budget and finance to order. And everybody's been emailed their minutes, and you've got a copy of them in your hand. I hear a motion, we dispense the reading of the minutes.
I'll make that motion, Jerry.
All right, any discussion? None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, we've got an agenda tonight with Simpkins Energy. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by, gotta write this down because we ain't got no good take minutes tonight. Linda's not here. You want us to take minutes? No, no.
I'll put on myself.
We can play it right. All right, I hear a second on approving their agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Carl, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, passes 5-0. All right, we want to welcome Mr. Simpkins, and I guess we'll just turn it over to you and let you do your presentation.
Thank you so much. I'd like to introduce my colleagues with me. And first of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Wells for putting this together and sending me the memos and allowing us to be here tonight. So, and everybody in the room, thank you very much. I want to introduce my guest that I brought, Matt Stennett. He's going to say a little something here in a second. I'm going to introduce the rest of them. Turn the floor over to you if you want to say a little overview. And Dina is with us, and she's our Vice President of Marketing. Bill Blumenkrantz, he's our aeronautical engineer. Walter Foster, he's our electrical engineer. And Mr. Kevin back here, and he's a main man. First page in the presentation is an outline of the Middle Tennessee Natural Gas Network. Oh, I'm sorry. Does everybody have one of these? I wanted to show you that because I had conversations with Matt, and as we started talking about everything, launching this opportunity, this is the opportunity for McMinnville and Warren County. It's in the center of this whole network. And I'm going to be talking to you about that a lot more. The good news is Matt has told us, I'm going to say it first, if I'm wrong, correct me, but the cost per gallon of gasoline equivalent, CNG, is 66 cents a gallon. So remember that number. Now, man, I'm turn over to you, give you an overview, give them an overview, and I'll pick it up.
Well, I was here I spoke to the school board last year about natural gas buses in general, and I'll be happy to talk to any more about that. Kent's going to go into detail about his presentation. Just a couple quick things from that meeting. One thing I said then was wrong, I found out. The first thing, my offer from then still stands. Hello. How are you? Good. How about you? If you guys decide to go forward with this, Middle Tennessee Natural Gas will split the cost of a fueling station with you. The exact numbers will depend on what we come to, but at the very least we'll pay a good portion of it. A couple small things. 66 cents a gallon is the price that's for the same energy as is in in a gallon of gasoline. You pay 66 cents instead of $2, $1, whatever it is at the pump. In addition to that, the thing that I said wrong at that meeting, there is a 50-cent per gallon tax credit from the federal government for natural gas vehicles. We'd always been told and thought that as a governmental entity, which we are also, you can't get that because you don't have federal tax liability. You don't pay federal taxes, so you can't get a tax credit. We have found out since then there are several government entities that are getting that, and we're applying right now to get it. So that would take your actual fuel cost down to 16 cents a gallon. There is also a new statewide initiative that just came out, several grants for converting diesel buses to natural gas that pay $17,000 a bus that you may have been talked about too. But just a couple things, we work with Simpkins a lot. He has a great product and looking forward to hearing more.
Thank you. I want to welcome our mayor. Thank you so much. Does everybody know about natural gas in your house? How many have natural gas in their house? How many people in your kitchen have a smoke ring around the ceiling? Anybody? You ever wondered why? I bet if you powered your stove with diesel fuel, you'd have one, wouldn't you? It's a big difference. It's called carbon. And so natural gas has no carbon. So it's clean burning fuel. And it's safe for kids and buses, and they're not breathing fumes or anything like that. So it started in the 1930s. It made a big growth in the 80s, and the cost of fuel went down. And I have a lot of charts I was going to bring here, and I thought I'm not going to bore you guys with that stuff, people with that stuff. It's clean burning fuel. It's the most stable in the price of all the fuels today in the markets. It hasn't varied more than 3 or 4% in the last 5 to 8 years. So we're dealing with a very stable fuel, and the cost is, and we're sitting on top of 300 years worth of fuel in the United States. And so it's good, clean, economically usable fuel. And so what we did is I had a little meeting with the mayor and a couple other people at our shop one evening and went through some basic numbers and talked about the economics. Because I think what people are really driven by, they don't want me to stand up here as an engineer and tell you all about this fancy stuff and how it works and how many PSI and CFM and all those numbers. What everybody's really interested in, I think, is what does it mean to me? What does it mean to me as a county in saving money in our county budgets? If you want to get technical, or if you want to ask questions, this is very informal. Please ask a question. But Mayor sent us a list of the vehicles that they use at the city, and we took those numbers and we analyzed them with what they're paying now to what we would have been able to save on natural gas. We got the numbers of the fleet size of the buses, and I'm aware of the fact that you have Durham. And I talked to Durham about, 4 or 5 months ago. Somebody told me to give them a ring. And they told me that until the school wants it, they're going to supply what they want. So it has to come from the school side of things to see if they want to do it. So if you look at the second page of this little overview of numbers, you get the school district first. And I wasn't going to belabor you with all this, but I did put the assumptions of how we got to these numbers, because these are the real numbers, and they're the numbers you're paying now. But if we did the full fleet of 56 buses, school buses, that's $354,810 a year savings. I think you see these numbers will get somebody's attention pretty quick. The police department came in at $25,077, and the sanitation department was another $25,000. So they're definitely very driving numbers to justify it. The number we don't know, the cost against this, is the average upcharge on a bus. But you're not going to be buying buses, you'll be doing your program with Durham or whoever. And but it's a typical $30,000 to $35,000. We can convert a police car for around $10,000. It is going down, so it's somewhere between $6,000 to $10,000. Now that amortizes a lot further. A bus will go 18 years. When you're dealing with natural gas, you don't change the oil as much. A typical car would be 3,000 miles. Under natural gas, you go close to 50,000 miles. Again, there's no carbon involved. I had this old guy at a show that had a Ford pickup truck, C&G, with over 100,000 miles on it. He'd say, watch this. He'd put his finger in the exhaust, run his finger around it, put it in his mouth. There's nothing on it. There's no carbon. So it makes a lot of difference in how well the engines will run. But that's kind of a nutshell of how this would go together. Now, you're not going to no one makes a change 100%, let's go with everything. You do it in stages like, okay, this year's budget is about 3 more police cars. Well, you'd order them C&G. Or you're going to do like the bus deal. We're going to have so many new buses in there. Well, I add some of them C&G. And as you grow your fleet, that's the way it works. Now, we have been here in Warren County for about 2 years, Don, when you say? About 2 years. And our plant is out there on Magnus Drive, and we're very fortunate to be here in McMinnville. And we love hiring local people and meeting local vendors. And I just today had the guy from the guy that owns the Gondola restaurant bought the J&J powder coating, and we had him at the plant today. He's looking at powder coating. So we try to do business with local people, and I love it over here. It's really a great team. My interest is obviously of putting and placing compressors. That's our business. But this is the kind of business you've got to get into it and do it from the ground up. I got to get out there and talk about the benefits of natural gas, bringing all this research that we have found over the years here to this table tonight. And another reason I think that we could do is we would be the first in Tennessee to go natural gas. And there's a lot of national attention that could be made out of this. Thomas Bus has just now introduced their natural gas bus. And the first one, the guys in Kansas City bought 125 of them and put it in operation. And so they're now out there building the markets. And but I'd like to see a lot of attention come to Warren County and McMinnville and what we're doing, and especially in Tennessee, how we're the leaders here, and get a lot of attention made over that and moving in. But on the bottom line to it all, there's a lot of savings involved, and that's where it all starts. Matt said something to you earlier about the grants. Well, I got a copy and printed them off, and it's a grant for $16,700 per vehicle, and it can include buses, police cars, or anything. It has the whole thing on here. So I got 3 applications. It expires June 20th, but it's a $200,400 grant that's been made available. And so I brought 3 copies. One for schools, one for the police cars, and one for ambulances. And I don't know if there's any other one. We can get you how many you want, but I just kind of brought y'all one to kind of, if you see an interest in it, you can apply for a grant and discount your CNG. If it costs $30,000 upcharge, it's going to cost you about $15,000. So it's a pretty good little savings, coupons. There is a federal tax, and it applies to public and private institutions, and it's 50 cents a gallon. So if you're going to take, the 66 cents, net down 50 cents off of it, put in a $17,600 coupon or grant. I mean, you can see how, I know people today that are making money, positive cash flow off of just all this reimbursements from the government that they're sending into places. I mean, I have one client is in Los Angeles, and he has the contracts for 3/4 of all the garbage business from Los Angeles to San Diego. He runs a lot of trucks, picks up a lot, runs a lot, burns a lot of CNG. And he applied for the first 10 CNG trucks we did out there and got over $250,000 back, just on the fuel. So the government's behind it because it's clean energy. That's the whole thing that's driving it. That wasn't for me.
You're graduating.
I should be. So anyway, if you're interested, pick up one. If you want to take one back to the schools or whoever in those departments. Does anybody have any questions so far?
One side note I'd like to point out, this grant is just for the state of Tennessee. Last time we talked grants and loans, it was for the entire country. So the pool is much smaller now, you have a much better chance of getting the grant. And an easier time with the paperwork. It's not an EPA grant, it's a East Tennessee Clean Fuels Coalition grant.
Okay.
Also, might note, Mr. Kent, a year and a half ago, I was over in Athens, Tennessee, at one of your stations, and there's a brand new garbage truck pulled up and filled up CNG. And I asked the guy, I said, what do you think about this? It's, pretty neat. He said 50% of the garbage trucks being mounted, now that was a year and a half ago, 50% of the garbage trucks being mounted by his company were CNG. And that was a year and a half ago, so I don't know, the percentage may be high.
The refuse truck industry is really growing. McNeilus and all of them, they're growing very fast in the CNG. At 3 miles a gallon, you can't hardly afford not to. You're burning a lot of fuel when you're running a garbage truck. I'll tell you, another industry that's come in is the concrete trucks. The guy said, think about it. A concrete truck goes out full and comes back empty. A garbage truck goes out empty and comes back in full. So they do repurpose.
Have you got any on any ambulances anywhere?
Oh, they are doing them, yeah. They sure are. We do, hospitals for the shuttle buses. We do all kind of applications. We do the Zambonis for ice rinks and street sweepers. We've done some of those. We've done a lot. We get calls for a lot of things. Any other questions anybody have?
What's the cost of the refueling station? You said you 50/50.
It varies a lot depending on how big you need. If you're running, it could be as cheap as $10,000 all the way up to $2 million. Just depends on how much horsepower you need, how much storage you need, how many buses you're filling, and how long you have to refill them.
That's where we come in.
Right.
So we come out, we do a site plan, layout, we got to see, what's your fleet, what's your expectations, how much do you want to grow, and we kind of size it up. And then from that point, we go in and do them. Now, we're with Thomas, I don't know if you know this or not, and I feel like I'm missing the people in the back here. Thomas is owned by Daimler-Benz, which owns Mercedes-Benz. And they're offering their buses, and I don't have anything to do with Thomas other than they recommend our system. But I know their deals. They have a deal where Daimler comes in and puts in the equipment and the buses and wraps it all into a financing plan for people. So that's a new thing coming out right now. But a typical average station, we just put one in Tullahoma. We've got them in the city of Lebanon. We've got them in Jackson, Tennessee, Athens, Tennessee, where Ron was. We've got a lot of them around us. They run around, the system is $120,000, and to install it, the electrical and all, we use a number like 250,000 turnkey jobs. And then we do a lot at 200,000, but it's just, you don't know if you get it rocked or not until you get into a job like that. And we as Simpkins Energy are trying to get out of the construction business because we really need to make machines and not be out here digging trenches for people. So we've kind of teamed up with OLG down in Tullahoma. Y'all may know OLG. They do a lot of work. They did the installation for us in at Elk River Utility, and they're all engineers. And we start with the civil engineering. We like to do a drawing first and get everything to the lines and lay out the tubing and the electrical and do all that analysis. And they do an excellent job. And all those guys down there in Tullahoma, they're just so excited for them. The big deals is they do all those warehouses for Jack Daniels. They just did a $500,000 expansion job down there. But they're very good, very professional, and so they're going to start doing a lot of our construction. But we're not held to any construction. A lot of times we have all the blueprints and the drawings, and we go into the local town and hire local people. Everybody knows good contractors and, electricians. All you kind of basically need is a general, and if you're small enough, you can just need a good licensed electrician and a licensed plumber to do the stainless steel tubing runs. And we have the prints and everything to show people how to do that. Any other questions anybody has?
With kind of the usage, are you saying like a $250,000 fueling station would do what you got on this paper, would cover that?
Amortized 20 years. Yeah. It needs an oil change about every 3 to 6 months, depends on how long, and she runs forever.
The system you've got in Lebanon, Kent, how many vehicles are they utilizing? I know the garbage trucks are converted.
Yeah, here's what happens. When you put them in these towns, like we could do this here, and put in a point of sale retail, but then we could go out and get the waste management trucks. I see them driving through town all the time. And then excuse me, they're going more and more CNG. So you can pick up a lot of the retail business or contract business, and that's what they're doing.
The city of Lebanon is selling to the public plus providing for their trucks.
They have, and plus waste management. And that's what Tullahoma's doing, because they've already approached them down there about bringing trucks down for fueling. So, and those are good accounts. Jackson Energy does it. And then when they grow, we'll put one over there. Well, I know I'm an engineer, but I got to learn how to sell. So years ago, I learned how to sell. And you got to finish a meeting with a proposal, So what I was going to, excuse me, the last page is kind of an approach of how to look at going into this. And I just ran some basic numbers, and you don't want to jump at everything all at first. But you would be saying, I ran one at 10 buses as a $63,000, $348 savings a year. 5 buses, $31,000. So it gives you an approach to look at to see how to grow into it. And, we would love to work with you and help you any way possible to do it. We've been around a lot and, got years of experience in doing all of this. And, like I said, I just think it's a win-win deal all the way around. You're going to save money, you're going to get the notoriety here in the area, and we can grow together. Anybody got any other questions or anything?
Did you base these on new buses?
Yes, I did.
New buses?
Yeah. I figured new CNG buses,
Right.
because there aren't any CNG here now.
Okay, so what is the cost of a new bus?
I don't know. I don't know what the cost. I mean, I can try to get one.